Disney and Pixar's next attempt to recapture the hearts and minds of families and children comes out in just a couple of days with Elemental. The reviews are out, the projections are out, and things are not looking so good. But one of the funnier things is, just like we got with The Little Mermaid, the headlines are cheesy. This one from the Globe and Mail. Burn after reading. Pixar's Elemental proves the animation giant ain't worth extinguishing yet. Somebody liked the movie. Elemental, Pixar's steamiest love story, will leave you cold. Oh dear Rolling Stone. Animation company's latest effort imagines a metropolis run by the four elements and puts the message before the movie. Oh dear. That's something we've been complaining about for quite some time. Message over story? Why would you do that? Put the story first. What else we got? In this one from the AP News, this one kind of doesn't hold any punches, but that's the first paragraph. Movie review. Pixar's Elemental won't set the world on fire, but it holds water. My God, how long is these cheesy things going to last? Pixar's Elemental conjures a diverse metropolis where the elements, fire, water, earth, and air, live like ethnicities, mostly ghettoized from one another. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty strong statement there. For fire and water especially, mingling can be combustible. What about fire and earth? Some of the trees, man, you can burst into flames. A bad splash could consume fire. A strong flame could evaporate water. I mean, everyone pretty much knows that, which makes this little Romeo and Juliet style love story make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Here we have from Variety, who gets in on the cliche, on the act. Elemental review. A hothead and a water boy fall for one another in Pixar's overcomplicated rom-com. Oh my goodness, overcomplicated. Trying to bring the high-concept charm of Inside Out to the world of incompatible natural elements. The Good Dinosaur, director Peter Sohn's Opposites Attract movie is a bit of a misfire. Oh my goodness, that's no good. Over here on Rotten Tomatoes, we got a Rotten score of, I believe it was 76%. I'm not going back. But some of the critical reviews, I found Elemental to be endearing, so we'll do like it. It's dispiriting to see a movie that so clearly represents all that Pixar once did better than anyone else turn out so middle of the road. Elemental may not be the film we want it to be, but it's still a warm and entertaining crowd pleaser. That's positive? Absolutely charming in Pixar's first date movie. Elemental is very romantic, yet also tells a moving story about oh, good Lord. Tells a moving story about immigration. Now, this gets into the pros and cons of it. The pros of the movie, which might help it be successful, is the 1 hour and 43 runtime. However, see, that's nice and good for kids. But if the movie has a message, something about a moving story about immigration, kids aren't going to get that. If it's overpowering, I don't know how willing families are going to be to go to return viewing. So where does it slide into the Pixar canon? Oh, that's what you're worried about? Probably in the lower half. Oh, how is that? Is the tomato positive? But Elemental, sincere and clever, with a splash of dazzle, pui, comes closer to rekindling some of the old Pixar magic than some recent entries. Yes, those recent entries being Lightyear, which bombed, Strange World, which bombed, had a lot to do with marketing, I'm sure, and Turning Red, which bombed. So that is going to be detrimental to whether or not this movie makes any money, because people, based on the past 3 movies and their box office results, how are they going to make money? How are people going to get over their dislike for those 3 movies? But article from Screen Rant. I'm talking entirely too fast, so I'm going to slow it down a little bit. How much did Elemental cost to make? Roughly $200 million. And what box office it needs? My goodness. How much Element cost to make makes it very expensive for an animated movie. Yeah. Pixar needs a big box office performance as a result to be success. I don't think it's going to get it. Apparently, the budget for Elemental's budget is reportedly $200 million. I am fumbling over everything. Been reported THR Elemental budget is roughly $200 million. Now, what's the projection? What does it need to make? Well, obviously, it needs to make about $450 to $500 million. How much? What was their marketing budget? Have they released that? Of course they haven't. Needs at least $400 million to succeed. Well, unfortunately, we have the box office projections. $31 to $41 million according to Box Office Pro. Things are not looking all that good. Word of mouth is, obviously, I've always said, word of mouth can make or break any movie. It will be very important for this one. The hour and 43-minute runtime will be very important for this movie. How many more cheesy, pun-filled article headers are we going to get after this movie comes out? When and if this movie bombs at the box office, who are they going to be able to blame? What are they going to be able to blame? Bigotry, misogyny, racism? This is an animated show with elements. Are you anti-fire, anti-water? Who knows? I'm sure they'll come up with some sort of excuse, because if you completely and totally ignore Super Mario Brothers, families just aren't interested in going to the theater anymore, even though Super Mario made $1.6 billion. But anyway, what do you think? Are you looking forward to this movie? I'm not really. I might wait for the first weekend to come out, see what the synopsis of the plot, because I couldn't care less about spoilers. I'll wait and see what it's about. Maybe I'll take my little tiny clones to see it. Maybe I won't. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I going to be dogging on this movie like I did Little Mermaid? I highly doubt it. Can Disney and Pixar pull themselves up from the ashes? I doubt it. Have a good one.